Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here in my 31 review for tonight, Monday, February 26th of 2018 from Anaheim, California. The aftermath of an Elimination Chamber and continuing down that road, especially the last night, the long and winding road to WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. After last night's so-so Chamber pay-per-view, with only two good things about the pay-per-view being gym matches and the Ronda Rousey segment, the rest of mid-card feeling bleh, and the crowd didn't help either. They were dead for the most part in between, especially the return of beach balls. I heard there was a fight and someone got arrested as well. Raw needed some big to go down tonight. They kind of make up for the pay-per-view being so-so and kind of predictable. There was some good and some bad. Not a lot of ugly. Well, kind of an ugly. The bad, we went from having 8 matches last week. We had one big giant match with 6 sub-matches, of course, the gauntlet match, and of course 2 matches during the third hour. We only had like 4 real matches tonight. Not a lot of action, but it's after a pay-per-view, so you have to give them some slack. Especially you just had 2 chamber matches. You know what I mean? The most barbaric match in WWE history besides the Hell in a Cell match in the War Games. There was some good though, despite the lack of good action. Like I said, the action was not only not that much, but it was just okay. But hey, like I said, after pay-per-view, there were some good segments and promos, building more seeds to Mania. We had a Cena promo about teasing something that may or may not happen, a great Miz promo, and then whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you don't like his booking, we can all agree on one thing. Roman Reigns delivered a great promo this evening. Probably one of the best promos he's ever delivered. It's up there with the CM Punk pipe bomb as a big shoot promo that came with the ugly. We had ourselves a no-show tonight, and Roman let a certain champion have it. Whether it was a whoop shoot or whether it was just pandering to the fans to make us really cheer for him by saying what we all say about Lesnar, we can all agree it was a good promo. Before we get to that, let's get to our opening salvo from the goddess of WWE and the winner of the first ever women's chamber match, Alexa Bliss. Still, Raw Women's Champion. She'd be accompanied by Mickie James. It's kind of weird that we had this little tease with this little friendship going on, and we never saw these two in the same time in the chamber match last night because Mickie was eliminated before Bliss got in. So we never got that scenario paying out. So we saw them walk out together, and Alexa did tease a face turn, but they went back to promo in heel mode. She did the same thing again tonight. So apparently Mickey's a heel again now. With no build, just she's heel, just straight the fuck out of nowhere. No logic, no backstory. It's like Mickey's now heel. At least with the whole Bliss says enemies Bailey Sasha story, there's a story with it about who's turning heel. You know what I mean? There's a story behind it. Then it just surprises us and say, oh, here's a surprise heel turn. Here it is. We're not going to explain. Just here's Mickey heel. It's like, really? But Bliss delivered a decent promo again about how she pursued her dreams, went on course heelish, saying that I was the one that beat everybody up, even Absolution, everyone in that chamber match. I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm going to be the champion against Asuka. Even though there's only one problem. Asuka hasn't still officially picked her champion yet. Despite everyone saying it is going to be Bliss and Asuka. Asuka's not really determined a champion yet. Now Asuka's running down Asuka saying that she will beat her streak. Asuka came down to the ring and wanted to beat up Bliss then and there. We had like a couple Asuka's going to kill you chants. And Bliss was like, Guess what? You did a lot to Nia Jax last night. You beat the crap out of her, but she destroyed you. And I'm surprised you were even walking tonight after the destruction Nia gave you after the match, especially that nasty-ass spear through the barricade, one of the best barricade spots I've seen in a while. And she was mocking Asuka not speaking that much English, unless she didn't go stupid racist like Jinder Mahal did to Shinsuke Nakamura last year. At least it wasn't that awkward, stupid, Japanese stereotyping. Saying that I may beat you up, not until before she does. But she is Nia Jax. She came down to destroy Asuka yet again. The Mickey and Bliss joined in 3-on-1 until we saw Bayley and Sasha came to the rescue. At that moment, we were like, so we're going to just ignore the Bayley getting knocked off the pod last night from Sasha, like a Lion King Scar Mufasa moment that was memed throughout the internet in the last 24 hours. Because we're supposed to think they're all hunky-dory. It's like, really? They're going to ignore the heel thing? Well, we would see a little bit of payback in this matchup coming up to open up after that segment. Led us to that first match. A 6-woman tag with Asuka teaming up with Bayley and Sasha Banks, taking on Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and the reluctant heel, Mickie James. And she did have a good performance last night. Bliss, they mentioned that in a promo. That was the best I've seen Mickie look in a long time. I kind of questioned her one in the company ever since she came back. You know, she came back to a little pop, being underused. You know, being just a stepping stone for people. Kind of like what happened with the Dudleys when they came back in 2015. They had a good watch, but then they were just used to develop talent and didn't get used that much. They were just underlying jobbers. Just what happened to Mickie James for a while, but this reignited her a little bit. This little Alexa thing, and of course the showing she had in the team match, including a splash at the top rope, top pod last Sunday. So the tag match was good. Some good spots, especially Nia just destroying everybody. She had like a big toss on Sasha on the outside. Damn, that was vicious. You know what I mean? Nia almost killed Sasha yet again. And after Bliss had some attacks on Sasha, Mickie James got in, and so did Asuka. Asuka clearly missed a drop kick. She clearly botched it. One of the few botches I've seen Asuka do. Unless there's been others, but I don't remember any other botches with Asuka as I can remember. That's what I'm saying. This is the first one I've seen of her. Like, really botched that drop kick. And right before Asuka got tagged in, Sasha and Bayley had a little exchange. This is the payback I was saying. Sasha was getting a butt kick for a while, and then Bayley was going to get tagged in by Sasha, but she ducked the tag. Payback for what Sasha did last night. So we did have that situation playback, because I saw him come out to help Asuka out. I'm like, really? They're going to just ignore the heel talk? We're not going to have the heel turn? But it did get brought up after Bayley left Sasha high and dry, refusing to tag in as payback for what happened last night. So we all going to get this little feud. But who's the heel now? You know what I mean? Is Sasha still the heel, or is Bayley the heel? But I don't think Bayley was the heel here. She was just paying back Sasha for what she did. It wasn't a heel move. It was a fuck you heel move. Screw you heel move to Sasha, who is the heel in my mind. No matter who's heel, I hope these two get it right. They've had good matches in the past, and if they put enough effort into this, unlike the effort they put into the Bray Wyatt Hardy feud, they should have done a lot more to it. I said a little bit in my review of the Chamber match about that. They should put more effort in this match, and it should be a good match at Mania. And that's when Sasha tagged in Asuka, and Asuka got the victory with the tap out onto Mickie James. After Mickie James got in, and that's when she missed the drop kick. So decent action, but the underlying story is the interaction between Bayley and Sasha, continuing their little beef, with Bayley giving her own middle finger to Sasha for what she did last night on Sunday by refusing to tag in. So we're going to see this more situation playing out a little more in the next few weeks to come. Now on to our next segment. John Cena, who has teased that he's not having a set road on his road to Mania, would lead him to the title match at Mania by winning the Chamber match and the Rumble. He's failed at both. This Cena desperate to get a spot at Mania because he doesn't have a set feud yet for Mania. This desperate Cena is an interesting character he's playing with here. There has been teasing about a possible match with Cena against The Undertaker. A match that would have been awesome 4 years ago when Cena was still a full-timer and ready to pass the torch to Taker. But I think if they do have that match, yes, it would be cool if it was 2 years ago. But now with both guys on the heels of retirement each, especially Taker, who people want this match, but I seriously don't. Because Taker had a great retirement segment after his match against Roman last year. Just leave that alone. But they've been teasing it by saying Cena a couple weeks ago doing his promo about the Chamber. He said, "Let us come back from the dead." And he did mention it tonight as he said that I don't have a set road to Mania. I need to pick myself up and not be down on myself and get that road to Mania. And I found that road to Mania by issuing a Mania challenge to The Undertaker. He actually mentioned Undertaker's name and the crowd went nuts. Like, it's going to happen. There's been teasers of it happening or not happening. And people are saying yes. And then Cena's like, but that's not going to happen. It's like everything else this year. It's impossible. So now with this Taker match, impossible to book. I don't book matches. I'm going to SmackDown Live. I am a free agent still. So, lots of scenarios can pan out. Cena Taker match could still technically happen. But it may be teased on SmackDown. Or it could be like Cena gets inserted into the WWE title match, which is already an overbooked mess, and making a fatal 6-way. Or him replacing Baron Corbin or Ziggler, and have Taker screw him over to build the match up for Mania, possibly at the Fastlane pay-per-view. So, we'll see what scenario does happen when Cena does get to take a match, or he gets a U.S. title match or something. Because we do have Bobby Roode against Orton at the Fastlane. So, who knows what they're going to do with Cena. That's kind of an interesting situation. You know, the way they're booking this. You know what I mean? Cena's character, desperate for that Mania spot, and wanting Taker and not wanting Taker. Well, wanting Taker, but knowing he can't have him. But is it going to really happen? Is he just teasing us? Saying, oh, here's Taker match. Nah, I'm actually not going to challenge him. But is it just a ruse? Is it really going to happen? Will it or won't it? So we'll see how this scenario pans out. I mentioned this feud, and now here's the guy who lost last night to Woke and Matt Hardy, and probably the worst crowd reaction tonight. They kind of deserved the reaction they got because the feud's been shitty. They had so many possibilities to do with this feud, with the Wokenness, and this is like I said last night in my review of the Chamber pay-per-view. This is a feud that people have been wanting ever since Matt Hardy returned. You have broken Matt Hardy against Bray Wyatt. They fucked it up. They had no good segments, just have him laugh a lot, and just put no effort in this rivalry. But tonight, Bray Wyatt tried to get his heat back by beating up on Rhino and Snyder, and we didn't have a pub match. And this is the end of the first hour. So we only had one real match to end the first hour after we had like 2 matches in the first hour last week. 2 matches of a long, one just long match, the Gauntlet. So Rhino and Slater got taken out quickly with Sister Abigail's. It was supposed to be Bray and Slater, but like I said, it never happened. Just the beatdowns from Wyatt, just looking vicious and mad at Matt Hardy. He wants to challenge Matt again. This is a feud that needs to end. It needs to end, my friend. So, maybe I'll stop singing. That's why I'm getting not many views these days. I sing a lot. So I'm going to limit my singing. And limit my music references. So, anywho, I'm just a wrestling fan who likes music. It just happens to be a DJ as well. So I know a lot about music. So I have to use a little music influences in these reviews. So, maybe that's why I'm not getting a lot of views. So I'm going to stop that. Maybe I should stop doing music references. If so, comment and see if you want me to continue with my music references on the show or no. But we do have a rubber match situation that could happen because both guys have beat each other. Bray beat Matt at Raw 25. They beat each other up, and Matt won at the Elimination Chamber. And we have a rubber match. If they have a rubber match, they better finally go full crazy in this match. Have Woken elements. Have Senor Benjamin. Have Vanguard 1. All the great elements from the Broken gimmick. Matt wasn't even there tonight. He was at the Hardy compound. Too bad he couldn't go live. That was a big missed opportunity. If Matt was at the Hardy compound, it really would make this Woken thing really get over. Like I said, do the Woken elements. Do the Broken elements. Have him live from the Hardy compound. That would have been awesome. But nope. They just had Bray challenge him, and that was it after that match. Now on to the first of the two great promo segments of the evening. First, The Miz came out with the Miz Taraj, talking about how he failed to get the slot at WrestleMania and was forced to go first in the gym match as punishment by Kurt Angle. Or maybe punishment for making fun of the fact he went on the Elimination Chamber poster Dean Ambrose was. He did talk about that in this great promo. Miz always is a great promo guy. The last 2 years, he's delivered some of the best promos in recent remembering, especially that Talking Smack promo back in 2016. And once again, delivered a hell of a promo this evening. Bitching about his position in the company, saying, I'm the IC champion, damn it. I deserve some respect. I deserve to be on Mush. I deserve to be on the posters. Kind of like CM Punk's promo for a minute. Both kind of that punk element. Both him and Reigns had kind of punk elements to their promos, but Reigns had more Cena elements. Get to that in a minute. And he said that Angle doesn't even know who he's going to face at Mania. Mania is delayed because there's been a little rumor that Mrs. Baby's due date is the week of Mania. So we may have to miss Mania to see his baby's birth. So they're still teasing an IC title match for Mania. And Miz is like, bitching about how he's treated by Angle. And it just felt real here. Work or not, it was a great promo for Miz. So he will be the longest IC champion in 62 days. Mentioned all these former champions, yet he did not mention the Honky Tonk Man. Anywho, they talk about the fact that he had to start the match with both Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, who weren't even supposed to be in the champ match and begin with, and didn't earn a slot in the champ match because they both got in after both beating Bray Wyatt in that Fatal 5-Way last week, thus making that chamber match a 7-man chamber instead of 6. You ended up facing them both in succession. Because Angle said your WrestleMania opponent might be your opponent tonight. Ended up being 2 opponents. First of which was Seth freaking Rollins, the Iron Man of all last week. He had a hell of a week. He lasted the longest match in Raw history. He wrestled 3 times in an hour and a half. And he was the longest man in the chamber match last night. Not only the longest in that match, but the longest time spent in any chamber match ever. 36 minutes spent by Rollins. So a heck of a week for him. He would continue that momentum with a decent little match with Miz. They're probably saving it for the possible match at Mania. Especially seeing the elements here. With Miz Taraj interfering a lot in the match. Rollins would later take him out with a splash move, suicide dive after numerous interferences by them. Miz would try to capitalize on that interference with the 8 kicks. I forgot to mention during my review of the chamber match, he did an 8 kick to everybody last night. That was an awesome spot. Despite Miz's best efforts in trying to skull-crushing finale and the numerous distractions from the Miz Taraj, Miz would go down with the sling blade and the big move. I think he got the curb stomp. Actually, he didn't do a curb stomp. He tried to curb stomp. He didn't do the V-trigger. And then the end came and he did a frog splash from way across the ring because Miz was on one side and Rollins was on the other. Could he nail that frog splash when Miz is so far from him? And he got to nail that frog splash perfectly when Miz was farther than he was aiming at in the 1-2-3 victory for Rollins. But as Rollins was celebrating, Finn Balor came out to steal the spotlight. They have a little thing going on. They both got in a pin last week in that Fatal 5-Way. And both went on to the chamber match. And now they're having a storyline with both these guys challenging for the IC Championship. They did have I think it was like a fatal 4-way last year to see who was going to face Dean Ambrose, who was still IC Champion at the time. And Miz was in that match with Balor and Rollins. That was a great match. We could see that match again at Mania if they play it that way. Or maybe a ladder match. We're not getting a Money in the Bank ladder match. We need a ladder match. Warriors have an obligatory ladder match. Since we have no more Money in the Bank ladder match, hey, we have a tag team title ladder match and an IC title ladder match. We may go back to the IC title ladder match after we had a tag team ladder match last year with the Hardys return. So as Balor is coming out and facing Miz, the bell rang, but Miz beat up on Balor with the Miztourage, deliberately getting himself DQ'd. And we thought the match was dead and done. But then the club came out, Gallows and Anderson, cleared out the ring and beat up on the Miztourage, kind of like continuing their little feud, stemming from last night's pre-show match when the club beat up and won out over the nerds of the Miztourage. So then Angle appeared on the screen saying that, oh, this match will go on. Balor and Miz will restart with all parties representing outside representatives banned from ringside. I thought we were going to get a 6-man tag for a minute. I thought Kurt was going to go all Teddy Long on us, play up, and book us a tag match. Holla, holla, holla. But we just had a one-on-one match with Miztourage and the club banned from ringside. And Kurt said if there's no winner in this match, no matter who wins, Miz is out of Mania. So we had that step in. And this was a decent match as well. With Balor and Miz, with Miz coming with some big moves. From my favorite spots, we saw Miz do the it kicks to Rollins, but then we saw Finn Balor do the it kicks, the yes kicks to the Miz. That was cool. Little slap back there. So that was some big efforts from both guys with doing some big moves. Balor did some big drop kicks in. A sling blade. Another drop kick in the corner. Of course, the setup for the coup de grace. And the victory for Balor. So Miz loses twice. And as Balor was celebrating, Rollins was interviewed saying that I beat Miz tonight. And now, even though I didn't get my hand raised last night in the chamber match to face Lesnar, I know now what my World of Mania should be. Facing the Miz at the biggest stage of them all, the grandest stage of them all, for the IC Championship. I don't think it's going to be a singles match. It's going to be a triple threat or a multi-man ladder match, like I said. Or maybe a triple threat ladder match. It would be great. But yes, the multi-man ladder matches are fun, but I would like to see a triple threat ladder match for once. Instead of a 7-guy ladder match for the IC title. Ladder match, you know. And I'm glad, looking at social media, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought we were going to get a 6-man tag after seeing the club get involved with the Miztourage after they beat down on Balor. I thought they made a 6-man tag. Go all Teddy Long on us, play up. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought that. Now it's on to the segment of the night. And this wasn't originally supposed to be the segment of the night, but thanks to outside circumstances, this became segment of the night. This was the set time in place for the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar showdown. We saw it coming. We saw it coming a mile away. It would be Lesnar Roman at Mania. But at least we got AJ and Shinsuke. So this is the assigned time for the showdown. After Roman Reigns, despite all of us hating it, getting the victory in the chamber match, seeing it coming with Lesnar Roman 2 at WrestleMania 34. But looking back on that first match, before Rollins came in, the match wasn't that bad, really. You know, it wasn't that bad of a match. You know, we were all fearing it was going to be bad. It wasn't that bad. Then Rollins made it better by being the wild card. So right before we found out what would happen, you know, the scenario is about to happen. You know, we're going to see the Lesnar Roman showdown. And I'm like, Strowman's going to get involved. To insert Roman, I said should be inserted and make it a triple threat. We see promos throughout the evening saying that it was going to be Lesnar woman, Lesnar woman. But at that moment, they were going to get to that segment. They only said Roman Reigns is next. They didn't say Lesnar. And we would soon find out why. Roman came out to his typical booze. You know, talking about, I told you, a spoiler alert, that I would be the one to win the chamber match and go on to face Lesnar at Mania. He was trying to search words for a minute. I'm like, is he fumbling again? But then he's like, man, I'm telling the truth about me winning, but then he realized what just happened backstage. That he knew that we did it at the time. Terry would say, I'm not covering for his ass. I'm just coming out. A lot of guys in the back will hate me for doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. Brock Lesnar's not here tonight. Brock Lesnar no show tonight. I found out about half hour ago. Until half hour ago, I thought we were going to have the showdown, but the little bitch didn't show up. And this is when Woman delivered a promo we've all been wanting to say about Lesnar. He said that Brock just hides behind his big fat contract. His entire piece of crap that hides behind his contract. He wasn't even at the pay-per-view last night. Oh, I see him in Vegas last night. He was in Vegas. But he was running around taking pictures with Dana White. That was true. And was sick and tired of Lesnar being a champion and being a part-timer and picking his spots. He's basically speaking what we speak about Lesnar. Whether it's pandering or he just said it just to make fans cheer him more, just to get the fan support that he's been dying to get, that Vince has been dying to get for Woman. No matter if it was worked or not, Woman's words were true. And this is kind of how you got Woman over here. You try to force Woman over by having that failed Shield reunion just to make people cheer Woman. But this is the way you make people cheer Woman. Whether or not it's pandering or not, it's kind of a good way to do so by having Roman Reigns target a common enemy of ours. As much as we hate the booking of Roman Reigns, we hate the booking of Lesnar more of him being a part-time champion not showing up every month. And only fights when he wants to. That's a common enemy that Roman Reigns said tonight. And he actually got cheered for it. You know, he came out the booze, but once started shooting hard on Lesnar, and it felt weird. You didn't hear nothing from the commentary. They didn't even mention it after. You didn't hear anything from the commentary team after that Reigns promo. And he said, I was born in this business. You don't respect this business, Brock. You want to go back to UFC. That is rumored true that he's going to leave, that his contract is up after Mania, and Lesnar's going back to UFC. The feud was added when he was pitched with Dana White last night, which was true. And he's going to go back and get his ass chewed out by the guys in the back for saying the real truth about Lesnar not showing up and not covering for his ass, saying there's like a stupid reason, like a storyline reason. He just flat out honestly said it. And he said it with honesty, and it didn't feel forced. If it was worked or not, it didn't feel that way. His delivery was honest there. It was even better than his promos against Cena last fall. I liked his promos against Cena last fall. They were great. You know, he kept saying punk ass bitch a lot. That was his go-to phrase. He also called Lesnar a bitch, saying I'm scared of him. So there you go. Will we see Lesnar at all next week to make up for him not showing up tonight? Who knows? And who knows why Lesnar not showed up? Maybe he pulled an Austin, took his ball and went home. Will he still be at Mania? Is this, who knows? There'll be a lot of probably speculation in the next few days. Bet you the dirt sheets are going to have a field day finding out what truly happened. Was the Woman promo real? Was it only a work when Lesnar not showed up? Why didn't Lesnar show up at Raw? Blah, 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 blah. We're going to hear all this shit going on for the next few days from these dirt sheet sites like the Wrestle Zones, Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, Alvarez, all these little legit guys are going to be coming out with their own little stories about what truly happened tonight and why Pomo did that promo and why Lesnar didn't show up, blah, 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 blah. So, it's going to be the small part of an ongoing bigger story. This segment tonight could be, like I said, just a small part in the big picture of things backstage. So we'll see how it all plays out. And I thought this feud needs to end. This also applies to this feud. This is the feud that needs to end. The ball once again taking on Titus Worldwide for the Raw Tag Team titles. I do like Titus Worldwide's character now. They gave him some more personality and gave us more airtime. It's cool for them. Crossing an intro. Despite some surprise victories over the ball in non-title matches, yet they weren't able to get the job done when the titles were on the line. And once again, they had a shot to try to beat them for the titles. And this time it was 2 out of 3 falls. Hopefully this is the payoff match. So the first fall went quick. Bell rang and Sheamus just broke kicked the hell out of Titus and 1, 2, 3 victory. Already up 1-0. So that escalated quickly with the only 1 fall. So we thought, are we going to get a tie? Or we're going to get an Usos Gable Benjamin match, have 2 straight falls, and not have a tiebreaker. We went with the former. Despite Titus Worldwide's best efforts in his okay little matchup, the great physical teamwork of Sheamus and Cesaro caught Apollo, because Titus got some good moves in, but Apollo got him with some big moves. Even a great little spot on the outside. And spots on the inside as well. He did a big splash on the outside, but his overzealous attitude got him. He got defeated in the double team finish by the bar in the victory. We still not following up on Titus being pushed by Apollo after that mixed match challenge match loss with Nia Jax against Shawn and Bobby Roode last week. We're still not following up on that. I said it on the review on Sunday. I'll say it again. What happens in the mixed match challenge stays in the mixed match challenge. That's why we don't see Braun interacting with Alexa. That relationship stays in the mixed match challenge. What happens on Facebook stays on Facebook. Not all the time, though. Still. Anywho, the ball would deliver a promo saying that, man, we took care of everybody. We took care of Titus Worldwide. We took care of the club. We took care of all these teams. We took care of the Hardys. And it's like, who's left? Who are we going to face at Mania now? Are we going to be punished by not having a match? Because who are we going to face? Well, Revival's a heel. So we can't have heel against here. The Bar and the club, that would be intriguing, but we'll see if that actually happens. Maybe we get a debut. Maybe we get Authors of Pain to debut before Mania. But we always know that when they have opportunity to make people debut before Mania, that doesn't happen. Remember, 1 year we thought it would be New Day against Enzo and Cass at Mania, and they were going to debut before Mania 31. But instead, it was that stupid League of Nations feud. The only positive that started the New Day face turn. That was the only positive about that, and made New Day total faces. And I think they should stick to heels, but I think their face gimmick has gone well. And tomorrow is National Pancake Day, or today, because it's coming on Tuesday. Rusev Day, happy Rusev Day. You can say that. People are sick of it, but I like saying it. I have a Rusev Day shirt, but it's getting washed right now. Maybe I'll wear it next week. But if New Day doesn't take advantage of National Pancake Day on SmackDown on Tuesday, big missed opportunity. So after the 2 straight falls of Sheamus and Cesaro, speaking of Strowman, the man I thought was going to interrupt the Lesnar Roman promo and insert himself in a triple threat match at Mania, I call that will happen. That's one of my predictions that I made at my Elimination Chamber review last night. And that was we went after Lesnar legit no-showed. He had a match against Elias, following up on not just a chamber match, eliminating him, but also that epic segment 2 weeks ago. I said 2 weeks ago that Braun Strowman's segment with Elias was segment of the year. this Roman segment tonight could rival that for early contender for segment of the year, let alone promo of the year. Because he said what we've been saying about Lesnar for a long ass time. We're sick of him being champion. We want a full-time champion. Not Roman, but hey. I'll give him credit for that promo. Will it win people back to him? No. But do we respect him for that promo? Yes. So, there you go. We start with Elias singing a song about how Strowman ended his dreams at Mania. But his World Dominion is not over. Because it'll end, probably sadly, in the Under the Giant Battle Royal. Because if I don't have anything for him sufficient, it make him be in that Battle Royal. Even though we know what WWE stands for. Walk with Elias. So the guy who apparently has the #1 and #2 best-selling shirts on WWEshop.com, used to be Shopzone.com, usurping Rusev Day shirt sales, he would get the hands, once again, of Braun Strowman. Despite Strowman's best efforts, Elias did give him a good fight. He drop kicked him. He got him down a little bit to a knee, but Strowman was not selling anything. Elias was desperate. He was trying to run from the wrath of Strowman. But then he grabbed the fire extinguisher. He didn't nail Strowman with it. He didn't put the extinguisher in the back of Strowman. He basically used it, sprayed him. That was a DQ. That was legit a DQ. So, Braun was blinded at that moment. And he was being attacked by Elias, capitalizing on that. But then Elias did get grabbed by the throat by Braun despite being blinded by the fumes of the fire extinguisher. Chased him to the back. He even tried to put him to the announce table. Kind of like Kane. I heard rumors about Kane coming back tonight. He's still being listed for house shows and dark matches, including a dark match main event at the Wall I'm going to on March 12th at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. We thought Kane may show up tonight. There was some dirt sheets purporting about Kane returning to start a feud for Mania. Thank God that's not the case. So now, Strowman was chasing Elias to the back after failing to put him through a table because Elias went off. But before Strowman could do more damage, Elias went out of the building and a limo pulled up, and that was Triple H and Stephanie to lead to our main event segment. So, I said Strowman should be inserted in the triple threat match, but if they don't make the Lesnar Roman match a triple threat with Strowman added, it could be Strowman and Elias at Mania. At least it would be better than the Under the Giant Battle Royal, but still, these two are over as hell in both perspectives. Elias has the #1 and #2 best-selling shirts right now, reportedly from several sources, and Braun's just over as hell. Despite the fact they still won't put the damn title on him. Say it every week, they don't put the title on him. They have a great opportunity. He's over as hell. Hell, he eliminated 5 people last night in a team match, and they still want to push Roman down our throats. But even with that, gripes about not seeing WWE pull that trigger on Strowman being champion, he's still over by the stuff he does. Just let him do anything. He's freaking Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman. Doing the things the Strowman can. Lift things up. Do it again. Braun Strowman. They do a lot of musical things. So, like I said, it's in my blood. This junkie that happens to be a wrestling fan. Anyway, on to our main event segment. The fallout from the Ronda Rousey contract signing. Despite a sloppy start with bad promo work from Ronda, proving that she needs a manager, or we thought, we'll see what happened tonight. So, they had a little confrontation with Angle blabbing, saying that these two, Triple H and Stephanie, they just want you to be in the company to get you back for what you did at Mania 31 to them. That after 3 years, we got the bitch. This little Tattletale Kurt character is interesting. And that led towards Kurt blabbing about stuff, saying that Stephanie can take Rousey That led to that great spot when Rousey dragged Triple H to that table, got slapped by Stephanie, and even the crowd chanted, "You effed up" to Stephanie. She just went off. So Stephanie wanted an apology for Kurt Angle for making those comments to set Rousey off to do what she did last night at the Champion match. Well, the Champion pay-per-view. But we know why Wanda did it. You know, she just did it. It was instinct. You know what I mean? They said Angle had the flu. And that's why he was loopy. Didn't know what he was saying. That was a storyline excuse for what he said. Blah, 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 blah. So they wanted Angle to make an apology. But instead of Angle's music hitting, Rousey's music came out. And just stormed out to the ring. Said nothing at first. And Angle's like, whoa, 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 Rousey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You gotta be professional about this, you know? But then Rousey took the mic, and guess what? Way better promo work than last night. Big improvement. And I do mean big improvement. It started out like last night, the soft little voice, but then she got a little bit more natural, saying that you slapped me last night. No one slapped me before. She finally delivered a good promo here. She still got a long way to go, but at least, hey, great improvement over last night. Better promo work tonight from Wanda. We said she needed a manager, especially like a Paul Heyman, but guess what? At least she improved tonight. Big improvement on the promo work. Big step up. Anywho, so then Triple H is like, yes. And Stephanie's like, yes, this is the best thing you ever did. Oh, Angle said that to Rousey. And Rousey was told by Stephanie early before she came out that Angle reports to us. You know, he's a GM. I'm the commissioner of SmackDown, of Raw. And you answer to us too, like Angle does. We own you. You're our property. And Rousey's like, I am not anyone's property. You know what I mean? And Angle says, Rousey needs to work within the system and not break the system. And he basically said, I lied. Everything I said about Triple H and Stephanie blabbing about you, just wanting you to beat you up after Mania 31, I lied. I need this job. So he's trying to save his own ass by saying that, you know, I lied about what I said. Saying, once again, that I had the flu. I don't know what I said last night, but what I said was a lie. I didn't mean to say those words to set you off. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Just kissing ass with Triple H and Stephanie. I'm saying. So Stephanie was happy about Angle saying what he said by the apology, trying to say, okay, all's well under the bridge. Let's move on. Welcome to the WWE Ronda Rousey. But Rousey's like, we didn't address that slap yet. And you need to apologize now, Stephanie, for slapping me last night. Because if you don't, I have no problem and not going to hesitate whipping your arm off with an arm bar. The move that got us so many championship victories in UFC. And the crowd was even chanting, whip it off, whip it off. You know, they got behind her for a minute. But then Stephanie's like, no. Welcome back to WWE, blah, 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 blah. Started walking off. But as they were walking off, Triple H went at an angle, shoved him down on the ground. So, apparently Triple H didn't accept Angle's apology. Or he saw through him. Seeing that Angle was just kissing ass to save his job. He was just covering his own ass. Kind of like Roman was trying to cover Lesnar's ass, but then chewed him out. In a great promo, as I mentioned earlier in the evening. So that's how we end Raw. With Rousey ending the Angle, building more tension, and building the seeds, sowing the seeds more for this possible tag match I alluded to. That this segment from last night and tonight set up Angle and Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie at Mania. That's what's going to go down. Yes, it would rather be great to see Rock replace Angle, because it was The Rock who was in that segment with Rousey back at Mania 31. But since Rock's a big movie star and other movie companies don't want to risk him getting hurt during big productions and have him miss production of movies, won't let him wrestle. That's why Cena had to do that match with Reigns early in September, because he was doing a movie. And insurance companies won't cover him wrestling. in the company doesn't want him hurt. Blah, 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 blah. So, but we're getting this match. Bill's been a little good here. We're going to see more tension with these respective parties as the weeks go on. So the seeds been planted, and the plant is growing more to set this up for the Mania match between these four respective people. So there you go. Hey, these mixed tags again. Hopefully this mixed tag is better than last year's mixed tag. Last year's mixed tag in Mania, good build, bad match. Cena and Nikki against Miz and Maurice. Love the build. The match. It was just a way to get Cena and Liverpool's to Nikki. It's been a whole year and no wedding date yet. Anywho, that is it for my Raw review. Thank you so much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later. Bye-bye.